Hey there YouTube, it's Lily here, and I just thought I would do a bunch of quick videos about hair breakage and how to curb it. So the main causes of hair breakage that I've identified anyway recently are dry hair, weak hair, and poor hair handling techniques. So we'll combat dry hair. So dry hair usually is due to, let's be honest, curlier and kinkier hair textures tend to be drier. Why? Because the natural sebum, which is the oil-like substance that our sebaceous glands, which are in the skin and scalp, produce, that tends to go down the hair shaft, finds it harder to get down our hair shaft because of the curly, kinkier, wavier, coilier hair texture. Also, it tends to be working against gravity, so that's a bit harder to get down. For this reason, our hair tends to be quite dry. If that lovely sebum is a nice coating, usually, and protective layer against the sun, wind, rain, and our shoulders and clothing once the hair gets to that length. For this reason, once your hair is dry, it can split. Now, split ends are areas where the hair is so weak it can snap off at any time. The barest touch can make it snap. I found this a lot when my hair was relaxed and I wasn't yet on my hair journey, and I didn't know how to moisturize my hair then, but once I started doing so, that kind of breakage stopped immediately. So dry hair can cause splits in the hair. The splits can travel further up and cause it to break even higher up, and you end up with all these very different lengths of hair that are very weak and very brittle. So how do you combat the dry hair side of things? Deep condition with moisture. How do you infuse moisture into your hair? Let's be honest, the simplest way to moisturize your hair is water. But a really good way to boost the moisture that you will notice almost immediately how well moisturized and how much better your hair is for it is a deep conditioning treatment. So what can you do? Go outside and find any deep conditioning moisturizing treatments out there. Drugstore brands are good. I mean, just go out there and try them out. You don't have to break the bank. Just buy one, try it out. The other thing you can do is grab your instant conditioner, which is usually quite cheap. Yes, it is. And add honey or oil or both. Leave that on for 20 minutes. Don't listen to that whole 5-minute jargon. No. Leave that sucker on for 20 minutes to an hour. Do your chores. And then rinse it out, and you will notice your hair is so much softer. I recommend doing this after you shampoo your hair, because shampooing tends to dry out the hair anyway. It tends to strip it. So you put in a lot more moisture with that deep conditioning treatment. To kind of boost the conditioning effects, you can do this with heat. So with a hood dryer, with a steamer, with, a warm, wet towel over the top of your conditioning cap for 20 minutes, and that will the warmth tends to open up the cuticles and allow the moisturizer to go further into your hair and do its job. The reason you would leave it on for an hour without heat is because your head generates heat within that kind of enclosure of the conditioning cap in that time of you walking about and doing stuff, and does the same effect of opening the cuticles. But it happens faster when you already have an external source of heat to stimulate that process. But yeah, that's one really quick way of combating dry hair. I would recommend doing the deep conditioning treatment at least once a week, if not that, once every 2 weeks, and make sure you definitely do it for that, hour. If you don't have a conditioner to hand that you can think of and you want to just try it out now, I would say grab some honey and grab some oil. Grab something like olive oil. You may have that in your kitchen. Try sunflower oil. Honey and oil, mix them together in equal parts. Apply it to your wet hair. I'm not saying soaking wet, just damp hair. Apply it to it. Put on the conditioning cap for an hour and rinse it out, and you will notice that your hair is already more conditioned because of that. All right. Hope that was useful. Take care.